feel it now. It's all around me, a silent voice I can't deny. A mother's arms, how they surround me. They sing the beauty of my life.
It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love.
I close my eyes. It takes me over. A memory deep down in my soul, and safe from harm to be beside you. A light will shine upon the world.
It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain.
This love,
This love, this love.
it will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain.
It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love.
This love, this love, this love. This love.
Shanti. Welcome back. Who had a good breakfast? There's something in Brahman life, you'll never starve in Brahman life. In fact, unfortunately, you often go the other way. So, one of the things which has always touched me in my life with Baba is the ultimate aim of this life to become an angel. And I don't think I've met a Brahmin who's not attracted to that feeling. And as I've been saying, I began my journey with Baba in London. And I was working in the heart of London, right in Covent Garden. And one day I was a new Brahmin, a new intoxicated Brahmin. And I went into London, and the night before someone had put graffiti on a huge wall right in the heart of London, and it said, oh where are the angels? And I remember I just stopped and I just looked at it for a while. And it felt like a plea from the heart of humanity, for the angels to come to this cold, dark, miserable world and spread their light. And then I thought, wow, that's us. And, sometimes I think we've travelled the entire cycle. But the most incredible part, the most magical part is still to come. The confluence age is the time of magic. 90 years have gone by. And I don't mean all the upheaval in the world, because that's something which we all have so much compassion for our human family. But we are going to see the glorification of God and His angels. And really, when you look at all religions, and even indigenous cultures, they remember the angels. So it says to me, what happened last cycle? What happened that this is so, the impression of God and God's truth is so deep in the soul, but also the impression of God's angels. And sometimes I think, when we look at, the state of the world and we see just, what people are going through at the moment, and there's so much suffering and so much upheaval in people. And there's so many sort of psychological reasons why there's sort of people are going through so many things. But the deeper reason is that, why people are feeling so anxious and worried is that the whole part is in the memory track. The future is sitting there. And psychically, all the human souls are tuning in that the future is one of absolute chaos and upheaval. Like everything that I've invested trust in, the institutions of this world, the systems of life, the systems of cultures, is all just going to collapse in front of me. And that's why people are feeling so anxious, because subconsciously they know it's all going in a direction, it's all collapsing around them. And not only that, in so many groups, in so many parts of the world, people feel that this is the time of God and His angels. And what's in the memory track of we Brahmins? I feel in our memory track is to step up and play our part of last cycle. To step up and play that part of the angel. The world is invoking it. Time is invoking it. Everything is invoking it at the moment. And am I ready? Who's ready? Because really, I think this is one of the biggest issues. We just always live in this place of limitation. You know, do I really feel it's me, or do I feel it's the daddies and the sister genties and all those? No, it's all of us. It's all of us. We are all God's angels. And Baba he's spent 90 years training us to step up and play this part in the end time, to be instruments of absolute, complete and total compassion and mercy for our fellow human beings, because everything they've invested trust and belief in is going to collapse in front of their eyes. And we love the image of the angel, but often we think, oh, perhaps it's them. It's them. No, it's all of us. Once Baba said, how will Baba be glorified? And Baba said, when there's one from every background, every religion, every culture, every profession, every nationality, says my Baba from the heart. So it's all of our part. And I really feel the biggest limitation is the limitation I put on myself. I keep myself in this box of what I'm not. And yet, really, I feel the story of the yajna is the most amazing story. All these young women weren't even very educated. Dadiji left at 15 and things. And yet, Baba had such faith in them, and they stepped into Baba's vision. And they played that part of angels. And this is, I feel, the biggest obstacle is my own vision on myself. This chronic limitation. Yeah, it's the one sitting beside me, it's others. No, it's all of us. And Baba wants us to step up and play our part of last cycle. And the journey to the angel is really the journey of Brahman life, I feel. And to me, there's 3 main steps. The first is from body conscious to Brahman. And as we were saying this morning, we all step into this world extremely body conscious on all levels. But we adopt the principles, we begin to practice, who I am. And I think a lot of the change that happens in this early days of Brahman life is change of habits. Habits are things of this life, cultural habits, eating habits, sleeping habits, family habits. And almost overnight they change, and I get the confidence actually that I can really, I can transform myself. But that's a huge step, isn't it? To step out of a body-conscious life and establish myself as a Brahman. And once I've established myself as a Brahman, I look around and I begin to see that Baba has the task, really the greatest task, to change the world. By us changing, by we changing our sanskaras. That's the real method. But we want to join Baba's service, so we put up my hand and I say, Baba, I want to help. Which is the most natural thing. Baba encourages constantly. Children serve at every second. But a subtle thing happens. We've left the gross ego of the world. The gross ego where we're concerned how we look, what we wear, about my image, all that sort of sensitivity in a very physical way. But I rebuild my subtle ego within Brahman family. It is not a conscious thing at all. It's just because I haven't developed full self-respect. And so I still identify I need supports to feel good about who I am. So I rebuild myself within the Brahman family around my role and my position and my respect and my part, a whole lot of these sorts of things. And it's an unconscious thing because actually I'm doing my best from my heart to really begin to serve. But what begins to happen is that it flushes out a whole set of sanskaras, of competition, of jealousy, of disagreement, of my way, of your way, defensiveness. a whole range of stuff involved in human relationships. And sometimes what happens is that I get to a point in my Brahman journey where I love Baba, I follow this life, I'm committed to Baba, but I'm not that happy. I'm not really very happy because I've sort of left the gross I and my of the world, and I've built a subtle I and my into my Brahman life. And I'm sort of very aware of where I fit, where you fit, my role, your role, this centre, that centre, this should be done this way. I think you know where I mean, just that we get caught in this sort of very limited mentality. I used to think it shouldn't happen, but now I believe it's all a part of the journey. It's going to happen. And it brings me to the point where Baba said once, the main obstacle in becoming an angel is the account of I and my. And we come to a point in Brahman life, and I feel around the world there's many of Baba's children, old Brahmins, such treasures, such jewels, who are really ready. And this is the real dying alive, dying from my ego, the ultimate death spiritually. To let go the need for some recognition, respect, praise, all the stuff that we've needed to prop up a fragile sense of self for a long time, and free myself. Because that's when I move from, the second phase is from Brahman to serviceable soul. First phase from body conscious to Brahman, second phase Brahman to serviceable soul, flushes out my subtle ego. And the third phase, from serviceable to angel, where I literally die alive. And actually, it sounds pretty dramatic, doesn't it, dying alive? But it's the ultimate freedom we yearn for, we absolutely yearn for in our hearts, to free myself from all this sort of stuff and become the full angel. Because the angel realizes this is Baba's task, this is Baba's family, this is Baba's center, this is Baba's everything. And if I look at my own journey, like I used to, sometimes become heavy about things in service, You're trying so hard, you do it with a good intent. But our habit, isn't it, to, I have to fix, problems come. I have to do, I take the burden of responsibility. I have done, I have the burden of the past. All the I's and my's just hold the soul down, and the soul becomes really heavy. And really, I think the angel is the one who completely dies from my body conscious ego, and what is born is the most beautiful being. And in my early days in London, in my first few years, in fact my first year, twice I had the experience of trance. I've never had it since. And it was amazing, actually. I just had this sensation. You know how Baba says the subtle region is beyond the sun, moon and stars? I had this sensation of infinite travel. It's hard to describe. I'd travelled infinitely in almost no time. And I just came in front of Bapdada's face. And it was the face of an angel. In the subtle region, you can't describe the beauty of that face. You can't describe it in a material sense, because Baba's face was radiating love, was glowing with purity, was just amazing. And that face of the angel is so imprinted within me. It's like when I fall in love with Shiv Baba, I become pure, I become, incorporeal, egoless and viceless. But when I fall in love with Brahma Baba too, his part, I become the angel like him too. And when you really think, he was a human being with a family, with a business, And in 32 years, he freed himself and became a full angel, and no one has done it since. I mean, his part, Daddy Janku once said, transformation is 50% of his work. He's still serving. He's still up there doing all this work, touching intellects and doing all this sort of thing. It's absolutely amazing. But the beauty of that image was just so extraordinary. And I really feel that the angel is really a being of love. And the power of the angel is they have all relationships with one. This is the most defining point of an angel. They have put themselves absolutely, totally, and completely under the influence of God. And nothing or no one else can influence them. And in a sense, I would say that impurity is all about influence. The angel has this cleanliness, this purity. And impurity is all about influence. In the golden age, we are pure. Nothing can affect us. When we come to the copper age, there's a little bit lacking, so I look outside. The law says whatever I desire will influence me. I desire you to love me. If you love me, I'm good. But if you don't, I'm upset. By the end of the cycle, everything influences me. Everything impacts. Have you ever been really amazed looking at how sensitive you can be sometimes? Just such a tiny thing can just have such a big impact. It's such a sign we've lost our spiritual power, that we are so affected. So Baba, in preparing the angel, heals us from the influence of matter. And really, he heals us from the influence of, name, form, shape, colour, all those sorts of things. In a sense, the sanskara of lust is the attraction to the material world, that the material world impacts and drives my thinking. And usually, we move through that quite quickly. But then on this way to being the angel, Baba heals us from the influence of others. And there's one muli, one of my favorite mulis, where Baba said the reason children are defeated in purity is that they become impressed. They become impressed by others. And Baba said to become impressed is to be deceived, and to be deceived is to be defeated. And so Baba went on to say, sometimes we think, this person's so sweet, they give me love. I love the way this person gives knowledge, the way they teach, and, this person supports me, this person, all these sorts of things. And we sort of think, what's wrong with that? That's okay, isn't it? Isn't that how life is? But Baba said what happens is that a human being comes back into my vision and subtly Baba goes out of my vision. We have such a deep habit of making others, putting them on pedestals, either attraction to them or dislike, repulsion. And in a way, the angel is completely clean in this way. We love people, we connect with people, we support people, but I have no attachment to any soul. And so the angel is completely under the influence of God. They're completely sustained in their living, loving relationship. Baba is a real personality in their life. Baba is the lover of the soul, and the soul, the angel, needs absolutely nothing else. And this is where the angel really gets its power. So I'm healed from the influence of being attracted by the material world. I'm healed from the influence of others. I'm not affected. I don't get impressed by people, and I don't get disgusted by people, because usually the way you go one side, you tend to go the other side. And I'm even healed from the influence of my old story. Because one of the most powerful attachments of us is my story. I still, Baba's given me a new story. He says, child, you're a deity. But I still relate to the old story. This has happened to me. People have done this to me. I've been treated like this. This is not wrong. And I identify with that story, and it holds me back, it holds me back. The angel can't fly. And so it's like the purity of the angel makes it completely and naturally detached. I'm in this world, but I'm not influenced. Hence the angels are shown, they're flying, They're flying above the influence of this world. And the power of this purity of the angel, that not influenced by the material world, attracted by anything in this world, not influenced by any human soul, and yet I still have so much love and respect for everyone. Not even influenced by my past story, and I'm absolutely under the influence of one. And this is really what qualifies the angel. So first of all, the angel has all relationships with one. And secondly, I would say the angel is naturally detached because of their purity. They're not influenced. They can live in this world and not be influenced. But thirdly, I think the role of the angel is to have good wishes and pure feelings for every single human soul. The angel doesn't discriminate, why are you suffering? Can't you see you've created the mess yourself? They don't question, they don't judge, they just keep offering mercy. And some of the most touching meetings I ever had with Bap Dada, all sitting in front of Baba. I remember once Baba was speaking and then he stopped. And he gave drishti and he said, children, can you hear the cries of the devotees? Then it went completely silent again. And then Baba said, do you just hear them or do you do something about them? About it. And then Baba went, drishti, drishti, drishti. And then he said, O bestowers, O angels, you have to give, you have to give, you have to give, you have to give. 4 times, Baba said. Because I'm coming to the feeling that this life is simple. It's in love, being in love with one, and at every moment giving. Because I become full from Baba, at every millisecond, even Baba says this life is to give, to give. And sometimes I think that, in the name of self-realization, how we're on this journey to learn about ourselves. Even Baba said this morning, we can become so self-absorbed. In the name of learning about myself, changing myself, transforming, I just get so self-absorbed in me and my world. I don't think that's Baba's way. We have to learn about the self. But Baba's way, and what will heal me quickly, is to become an instrument to keep giving to absolutely everybody. And to me, what I've observed in myself is our addiction when we come to Baba is to take. Because we're empty, we take. And so we have this sanskara, we have this habit of taking disrespect, taking sorrow, taking hurt, taking. The more you serve, what are you doing? You're giving. And automatically it starts to heal the addiction of taking sorrow from others. Even after many years, that habit is still deep. Even within the divine family, we take sorrow, but that's actually my weakness. Yes, it's an absolute fact that some people don't behave appropriately. That is all true. But if I take sorrow, that's my mistake. And this addiction, the framework of the mind to take, to absorb, to be hurt, to be upset is so deep. When I become the instrument, I just keep giving, keep giving, keep giving. Look at the daddies. I feel a huge part of their deep transformation is being the angel that gives at every moment. You know, once I was off to Amrit Vela in Pandav Bhavan, and I saw someone stop Daddy Prakashmani and ask her a question, 3:45 in the morning. And a lot of people just say, later. But Daddy, in her absolute and utter humility, listened and spoke to this person. She was completely humble. She never saw herself as better than anybody, even though she had that part. She had such an incredible sense of self-respect. Because I remember Baba saying that the angel has 5 types of feelings. And in a way, I feel a lot of our study now is to keep my feelings clean, pure. No, we're living in a world with such tamo-pradhan behavior, such tamo-pradhan atmosphere, such things. We all know them. We read about them every day. We see them with our own eyes. And yet, I have to learn how to live in this world and keep my feelings clean. And Baba said the 5 feelings of the angel. The first is of love and cooperation. The second is the feelings of benevolence. The third is the feelings of zeal and enthusiasm. The fourth is the feelings of belonging, giving belonging to everybody, whoever they are. And the fifth, the feelings of soul consciousness. And my feeling is that this is our study. To keep these clean feelings, these pure feelings, because as the millisecond I allow pollution into the feelings in my mind and my heart of hurt feelings, bad feelings, critical feelings, negative feelings, what happens to my stage? I feel our study now. The angel always holds these feelings, and these feelings have their own work. Who has come in front of somebody, one of the daddies, and just their presence without a word, you've felt uplifted? Who's felt that? We all know, don't we? Because when I really keep the perfume of my mind so sweet, so light, and there's bad behavior all around me, there's wrong things happening, and yet I make a decision in my life. I'm going to keep the feelings in my mind so clean and so pure, so that wherever I go, I have an incredible influence. And I think that we are now in the final phase of the cycle of the confluence age. I often feel the first phase was the foundational phase, and that yoga power of the time in Karachi still sustains this organization. The second phase was the spread of service. They had nothing, they just had love and enthusiasm. We've all heard Daddy Janki's share in Pune. She had one room. She taught in that room. She took her bath in that room. She cooked in that room. She did everything in just one room. The third phase, foreign service, started to happen. And so a whole new lesson for the Yagya, all the different cultures and religions. The fourth phase is massive growth. It's absolutely huge. You know, in India now there's 55,000 teaching places, 7,000 centers, 48,000 Gita Pachalas. It's on a roll, unstoppable. But we're in the final phase, and this is the phase of upheaval in the world, and this is the phase of the angels. And really, I think the big issue is to step out of ordinariness, this ordinary vision on myself. Oh no, it's not me, it's them. No, it's me. Because that part is written in my memory track for all of us, to step up and play the part of the angel. And time is invoking it now. Do you feel that? We've really got to step out of ordinariness, step out of my comfort zones. You know, sometimes we design our life to live in our comfort zones. We say, actually, I'm a pretty good Brahmin, I'm quite stable, but actually I design my life that anything that makes me feel uncomfortable, I avoid, you know. So I say I'm quite stable, I'm quite good, but actually I've just designed things so that things that threaten me or make me feel uncomfortable. Actually, really as a Brahman, it should be the opposite. Because to me, wherever I feel uncomfortable, I've got to look at that. Why am I feeling uneasy in a situation? Or why do I feel uneasy with a certain personality? Because there's something in me I've got to look at, to learn about, to change. And often we live in our comfort zones. And, you know, we start Brahman life, we're so inspired. Barbara, I found Barbara, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, we're sprinting because it's a marathon. But after a while we start to jog, you know. And then we start to walk. And then we sort of sit down a bit. Oh, Baba, give me a rest. You know? But really, sometimes we just... And then when we become a bit ordinary, yeah, I know this, I know Gyan, I know the cycle, I know it all. But actually, it's subtly, I've become sort of subtly body conscious once again. How can I tell? I feel the main thing when I'm really stepping out of a real effort, I start to look at everyone else. Oh, they're not doing very well. Why is this happening? The Brahmin family should be like this should happen. And I start to become very critical. And I think I'm very clever and I'm seeing truth, but actually it's a signal that I'm not really making spiritual effort. I've become extrovert once again, seeing what everyone else should do rather than seeing what I need to do. What I've learned in this life is that the first law of spirituality says, I am responsible for how I feel. You know, no matter what is happening out there, I'm the governor in this space. I've got to take full responsibility and really look at what I need to do, not what others need to do. But I think we're really coming into this incredible time where the angels will really appear in all corners of the world. And you know, in Europe, when you go to the ports in Spain and Italy and Portugal, you know how they have those huge columns and those beautiful angels who used to oversee the sailors before they went into unknown territory. Wherever you go in the world, the angels are like protectors. We are the angels, and it's just really time is invoking us to step out of this self-imposed prison of limitation. Oh, I can't be like this, I've still like this, I've still got this weakness. No. Just let Baba take you into that space. He wants to take us into that space. So I think I should wind up there. And so we'll have a little discussion now. Okay. I'm to take a reflection. Sorry, someone.